Hey Genderqueerchat, Joe here. I just wanted to show you, this is what I do. I was telling you I'm often in a high school where it's empty and they're just cleaning the rooms or whatever for the summer. So yeah, here's the nearest bathroom to me. And I just thought I'd show you that because I have to pee. Oh look, urinals. Okay, see you later. Hey Genderqueerchat, Joe here. It is July 28th. The last video before I'm 40. I'm 40 on Wednesday. So welcome to our week. Actually, yeah, it's the 28th. Tomorrow's the 29th, Sunday, but I'm going to a Toby Keith concert. If you watched my music video, you know I love this guy. Which actually relates slightly to the topic at hand. Today's topic is, how does your gender relate to your sexuality? It's a fantastic question. And I've been watching the videos all week and I'm kind of mesmerized at how people's sexuality was kind of fluid. That gender and sexuality were very closely related to them, that as they discovered their gender, they also discovered their sexuality. That is not the case for me at all. I am, actually, let me just turn on the light. It's a bit dark in here. I am, ever since I can remember, I've liked boys. Ever since I can remember. I remember being in kindergarten, having a massive, massive crush on a boy named Paul Carvalho. I remember in grade 1 it was William Major. In grade 4, well, I remember grade 8 it was Anthony LaRocca. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. These were just crushes of my youth, and extremely intense. And I think because I was raised Catholic and sexuality was really repressed, I don't know that I related it to sex, but I did know that it was a romantic feeling. It was different than the way I felt about girls. I know many, many years later, when I tried to think about a girl that way, actually, I'll tell that story right now. When I was 19 or 20, my life was pretty much like the life of a gay man. I lived in the gay ghetto in Toronto, and I was just going to gay bars all the time. I had a shaved head. I used to wear a suit and tie, and I just really, really felt like I fit in the gay men's world. And at the time, my friends, all my gay friends, said, "Joe, you're a lesbian. You're obviously a lesbian." But I had no connection to the lesbian community at all, and I kind of thought, well, I guess I must be, right? Like, I don't know, like some sort of logical thought process. Thought, well, I'm happy in the gay community, so I guess I must be a lesbian, seeing as I have female body parts. And I remember there was this girl at work, and she had a very strange, a different body shape to mine. She was very, very thin on top, and she was very pear-shaped. She had big hips. And I remember watching her walk away one day, and I caught myself, like, staring at her ass, I guess is the best way to put it. And I remember telling my gay friend that night, I think I have a crush on her. And he said, "Oh, see, I knew you were a lesbian." And then he goes, "Well, can you picture yourself kissing her?" And my reaction was very visceral. It was, ew. Truth be told, it was ew. No. And he said, "Well, could you picture yourself eating her out?" And I was like, no. He goes, "Joe, you're not a lesbian." So my foray into am I a lesbian was very short-lived. As I said, boys, 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 and as I got older, men. I'm very, very attracted to alpha men, hairy men, old men, bald men, not boys. I don't like boys, I like men. And I like, there's something pheromone-ish, like the scent or I don't know what it is, but when I see or get near men like that, I'm often tongue-tied. It's very strange. It's a very strange sensation. It's very biological. And that's what always kind of humbles me, because I'm so logical. I'm such a linear thinker. Sometimes I laugh at myself at just how tongue-tied I can get when a man walks in the room. Actually, that reminds me, about 10 years ago when I was in college, there was a guy named Brad, who I assume that was his name. He was a blue-collar worker. I think he was a boiler maker, and he had a name tag that's sewn on his shirt and it said Brad. And he used to come into the college to do work, I guess, in the building. And I would literally stop in the middle of sentences. I would walk into plate glass doors. I once set off a fire alarm walking through the wrong door, and I didn't even hear it, like just stupidity like that. So those are crushes, though. Sexuality, sex, the act of sex, if you want to call it that. That's the hetero version, right? Or I am really, really bordering on asexual. I really, for many, many years, as I said, I've been celibate for 11, 12 years now. And with some, like I said, a couple one-nighters in there, hardly worth talking about. And I do not crave sex in any way, shape, or form. I don't, when I think about liking a guy and kissing a guy and cuddling with a guy, I assume sex is in the picture, and I just kind of assume it's part of the package, and I don't really care for the idea. But I guess because, again, I was raised Catholic, this is like so muddled, I'm sorry, but in when you're raised in a fucked up Catholic family like I was, like the extreme version, the dogmatic fundamentalist version of Catholicism, you're taught that women are, you don't really have a choice in the matter. Sex is something, you know, your husband can't control. My mother once told us that she went to a priest, and her priest told her she was not allowed to deny her husband sex, that was a sin, and that if he masturbated, that sin would be on her shoulders because she denied him sex and all this. So we were raised in an environment where it was just understood, seriously, that you would just have sex with the guy because he wanted it and he couldn't control himself. And I think of all the times in my life that I was with guys and I had sex, I don't recall ever really wanting it. There was one guy that I was with for many years where I really, like, we had a good sex life, but I don't, generally speaking, it's not high on my list of priorities. I also don't really enjoy eating the way a lot of people, you know, some people are foodies and they just love the sensuality of food. I'm none of these things. I'm like all in my head. I just live upstairs. I really like thinking and philosophizing and communicating. I'm just nothing down here. I don't like to touch things, feel things, taste things, experience things kind of bodily. Strange, isn't it? Where else was I going to go with this? When I discovered my gender queerdom, I think, as I said, I always knew I was attracted to romantically, or I suppose partially sexually, physically attracted to men, always. I also always knew on some level that I wasn't a woman, but I never had a word for that until I was 35 or 36 or 37. I think I'm 37 maybe. And that's when I discovered the word genderqueer. And I, like I said, that was such a satisfying day in my life because it really all came together. And now I can very much rest assured that I know who I am. And also I am okay with, I've always thought, again, I'm sorry, it's very muddled. My grade 12 grad date was a guy named Pete, and I remember when Pete asked me, I really had a crush on him at the time, and we were friends and we hung out together constantly. And I remember when he like formally asked me to the grad dance. I was delighted, and this girl that we were friends with at the time named Bonnie, I remember word got back to me. She said, "Oh, Pete could have done a lot better than her." And this kind of thing has kind of followed me my whole life, where I'm oftentimes with a good-looking guy and I get female friends or even male friends like saying, "What's a guy like that doing with a girl like her?" And I guess when I was 17, it probably hurt. I remember being angry. I don't remember being upset by it, but I remember being angry at Bonnie. Like, I never spoke to her again after that. But I don't think I ever felt like they were wrong. Like, what is a guy like that doing with a girl like me? You know what I mean? Like, what makes a really attractive hetero alpha male be attracted to a very non-feminine person who doesn't even identify as a woman, unless he himself has not gender variancy, because I think he's pretty settled in his gender role where he's a male and man and happy with that. But I mean in his sexuality. So lots of men can be attracted, I'm assuming, because I've had a few bisexual boyfriends in my life, and I assume they're attracted to the spectrum of people, and I fall into that spectrum somewhere. So, I guess, and that was kind of cool too, because when I lived in the gay ghetto and in Toronto, I got to know, I think up until that point I had this misconception that gay men were effeminate, because a lot of effeminate friends growing up, a lot of effeminate male friends that did grow up to be gay, and they grew up to be kind of flamboyant bottoms, shall we say, or just gay guys, like, and then it wasn't till I got into the gay scene that I realized there are like butch guys, there's like bears, and there's like all these like alpha strong men that you would never guess are gay. They're very masculine, and that was kind of news to me because I was always attracted to men like that. And that's around the time that I started to call myself a gay man trapped in a straight woman's body, where I could be kind of the flamboyant gay boy, B-O-I, or whatever, and they could be the alpha male. This is all convoluted. But truth be told, that has never changed for me. I've never ever veered off that track. I've never wanted to have sex with a woman. I've never touched a woman sexually, and I have no desire to. And like I said, the reaction was visceral. It was ooh, which is, I think on this channel, where are we for time? I should speed it up. A lot of us really strive to get over the ooh with, you know, trans people don't want to be looked at and disgust somebody. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be in bed and somebody look at your body parts and say ooh, or for somebody to say ooh to them. That's it's insulting, and you know, it's politically incorrect. But the fact is, sexuality is a very visceral thing. You like what you like and you dislike what you dislike. And I mean, you could take it to some extreme where you get into, like, I don't know, would I want someone to shit on me? Or no, that I would go ooh to that too. And that's, some people really get off on that. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying that's not what I want. I've never, you know, wanted any of these things. I don't care for lesbian porn. I mean, I just, it's not even, the female body is very, very nothing to me. And truth be told, the male body, I mean, I don't really like staring at male bodies either. I'm not visual. I'm not a visual person. I guess I'm a pheromone-based person. I'm a scent-based person. Or energy. I know I like certain kinds of energy in a person. And that typically is very, very, like, hyper-masculine. So there you go. There's my subject for the week. And next time you see me, I'll be 40. Have a great week, you guys. Bye-bye.